Hello guys, today we'll be discussing another new topic, that is the dental waxes. So you can expect at least one question from this particular topic in your competitive exam. These all are the contents which we are going to discuss one by one. So starting with the introduction, the word wax is derived from the Old English wax for the honeycomb of the beehive. Waxes have a versatile role to play in dentistry. Few procedures in the restorative dentistry cannot be completed without the use of wax in one of its many forms. In year 1880, the Ames used a burnished foil technique for fabrication of inlays. The first cast inlay is attributed to Philbrook in year 1897. So Targett, William H. Targett in 1907 introduced the lost wax technique. So guys, this line itself, it is an MCQ and this question is being asked in your examination, and I guess it was asked also in Ames exam. The question was Dr. Targett is associated with, so your answer is with the lost wax technique. So he introduced he also described an investment technique and developed an investment material. He even invented an air pressure casting machine. Waxes. Now what are waxes? These basically are the organic polymer containing of hydrocarbons and their derivative, example the esters and the alcohol. Coming on to the classification of waxes, this is very important. Classification of waxes are according to the origin, according to the use and the application. Coming on to the according to the origin, it can be natural and synthetic. In natural, you have mineral, plant, insect and animal. First, from the mineral, you have paraffin wax, microcrystalline wax, sericin wax, Branstall wax, your ozokerite wax and Montan wax. Apart from all these, the Montan wax and the paraffin wax, these two are the very important in the natural wax. From the plant, you have the Carnauba wax and the Candelilla wax. Candelilla is very important. From insect, you have beeswax. From animal, you have spermaceti wax. So synthetic, we have polyethylene waxes, polyoxyethylene glycol waxes. Coming on to the according to use and their application, we have pattern waxes, processing waxes, impression waxes. You just have to read these slides, you just have to go through it once. It is very important and very easy topic also. So in pattern waxes, you have inlay wax, casting wax, base plate wax. In the processing wax, you have boxing wax, utility wax, sticky wax, carding wax, blockout wax, white wax. In the impression waxes, you have bite registration or the corrective wax. So inlay casting wax. Starting with the inlay casting wax. Inlay wax is a specialized dental wax that can be applied to dies to form direct and indirect pattern for the lost wax techniques. I again repeat, who gave the lost wax technique is Dr. William Targett. So inlay casting wax is available in color deep blue color, green color or purple color. Coming on to the very important point, that is composition of inlay wax. It consists of paraffin wax, which contains the majority of the constituents, that is 60%. Paraffin wax 60%, Carnauba wax 25%, beeswax 5%, sericin wax 10%, natural resins, that is gum dammer, less than 1%, organic fillers that are added to avoid excessive shrinkage, expansion due to the temperature change, microcrystalline wax in a minute amount, Candelilla wax and the coloring agent. Natural resin wax is also known as gum dammer. Okay, so I'm telling you MCQs regarding the gum dammer. So the MCQ is the gum dammer. Please listen carefully. The gum dammer is the component of inlay wax which makes the wax, answer is flake resistance. So basically your gum dammer is the component of your inlay wax which makes the wax flake resistance. Coming on to the paraffin wax or the mineral wax, it is the mixture of hydrocarbons obtained from the high boiling fractions of the petroleum, that is methane series. Melting point, it ranges from 40 degree to 71 degree Celsius. During solidification and cooling, a volumetric contraction in the range 11% to 15% exists, likely to flake when trimmed, and it does not present a smooth glossy surface. Consequently, other waxes and the natural resins are added in this wax. Coming on to the Carnauba wax, which we obtain from the plant wax derived from the tropical palms. Melting range 84 to 91 degrees Celsius, combined with the paraffin wax. Why? To decrease the flow at the mouth temperature and increase the hardness. It contributes to glossiness of the wax surface. Saracen wax or the mineral wax. It provides toughness and carving characteristics. They have higher molecular weight and greater hardness than hydrocarbon waxes. These waxes also may be used to increase the melting range of the paraffin waxes. Coming on to the beeswax or the insect wax, complex mixture of esters. These are basically the complex mixture of the esters consisting mainly of micryl palmitate plus the saturated and the unsaturated hydrocarbons and the high molecular weight organic acids. Melting range, you have to keep this in mind. You have to mug it up, or you have to remember the melting ranges of all the waxes. Melting range of the bees insect wax ranges from 63 to 70 degrees Celsius. It is brittle at room temperatures, become plastic at body temperature. It is used to increase the plasticity of paraffin wax. Basically, every wax has some quality which is being added to the paraffin wax. Coming on to the natural resin, that is gum dammer, added to the paraffin wax to improve its smoothness, renders it more resistant to cracking and flaking. I have already told you this MCQ, that gum dammer component of the inlay wax which makes the wax flake resistance. It also increases the toughness of the wax and enhances the smoothness and the luster of the wax. Coming on to the candelilla wax, that is plant wax. It is added to the paraffin to partially or entirely replace the Carnauba wax. Its melting point is lower and it is not as hard as the Carnauba wax. Organic fillers, normally soft wax, shrinks more, causes significant pattern distortion when it solidifies. For this reason, organic filler is added. They should be completely miscible with the components of inlay wax. They should not leave an undesirable residue after burnout. Control of properties of inlay wax is governed by combination of factors like amount of Carnauba wax used, the melting range of hydrocarbon wax, and the presence of resin. Dentrum by Germany, crown and bridge waxes. So basically the crown and bridge waxes, we use the blue wax. So the blue wax is available in the rope forms and in the bulk form. The melting point of this wax is 72 degrees Celsius and also present in it is also available in ivory color, whose melting point is 73 degrees Celsius. So we have various sets of the different colors of waxes. The blue, dark blue or the hard wax is used for the crown and bridges and inlays. Add-on and dip use melting point is 69 degrees Celsius. Light blue, it is soft wax. It is used for crown and bridge and inlays, and its melting point is 72 degrees Celsius. It's the dark blue, it's the light blue. Lilac, it is stress free for coping and cervical margins, and the melting point is 79 degrees Celsius. Now coming on to the red wax, it's adhesive and connecting and adhesive wax, and with the melting point of 70 degrees Celsius. I hope it's clear to you. Coming on to the cervical waxes, it is used for the cervical areas with no shrinkage. A very accurate fit will be obtained through these waxes with a melting point of 74 degrees Celsius. So these are the wax preform. These are the preform wax which are available, also known as the Selector Wax preforms. It simplifies wax up and shortens your finishing procedures. Coming on to the desirable properties of the inlay casting wax. When softened, the wax should be uniform. These are the ideal properties of the inlay wax. The color should be such that it contrasts with the dye material or prepared tooth. There should be no flakiness or surface roughening when the wax is bent and molded after softening. During carving, wax should not pull away with the carving instrument or should not chip as it is carved. The wax should burn out without any residue left. The wax pattern should be completely rigid and dimensionally stable at all times until it is eliminated. Coming on to the properties of inlay wax. Flow. According to ANSI and AT specification number 4, it covers two types of waxes, that is type 1 and type 2. Type 1 is the medium wax, which is hard and it is used for the direct pattern in the mouth, whereas lower flow values at 37 degrees Celsius, it's tend to minimize any distortion of the pattern on its removal. Second is type 2 wax, that is soft wax, which is used in the Indirect Technique. It is given by Jada in 1984. These are the requirements of the maximum with the maximum and the minimum temperatures. The temperature required by type 1 wax to register the cavity detail is somewhat above 45 degrees Celsius, at which the flow is about 70 to 90%, and type 2 shows greater flow than type 1, both above and below mouth temperature. So basically your type 2 shows the greater flow than type 1. The flow of type 1 is not more than 1% at the body temperature, whereas for type 2 it is 9%. See the difference. Type 1 is not more than 1%, whereas type 2 it is 9%. Low flow values are required at mouth temperatures to minimize any tendency to distortion of the pattern on the removal from the prepared cavity, or you can say the cavity preparation. Coming on to the thermal properties. Thermal conductivity of the waxes is low and time is required to both heat them uniformly and to cool them to body and the room temperature. This is one of the inherent disadvantage of the waxes when they are used in the direct technique. So this property is not significant when wax is used in the indirect technique, because the wax is not subjected to change from mouth to room temperature, provided no marked variation in the temperatures occur after the removal of pattern from the die. So this is the coefficient of thermal expansion. A decrease in 12 to 13 degrees Celsius in a temperature from the mouth temperature to the room temperature 24 degrees Celsius, causing 0.4% of the linear contraction. This is a thermal expansion of the inlay wax. This is the pre-cooled under paraffin, and this is the cooled without paraffin. So coming on to the wax distortion or the warpage of the wax pattern, which is very important. Wax distortion is probably the most serious problem during the forming and removal of the pattern from the mouth or die. Distortion results from the thermal changes, the relaxation of stresses while on cooling, occluded air, molding, carving, removal, and the time and the temperature of storage. Wax tends to return to their original shape after manipulation. As you all know, this property is known as elastic memory. The casting fits best when the pattern is invested immediately after its removal from the die. So you don't have to wait. After the removal of your die, removal from the die, it should be invested immediately. So this is the inlay wax, softened using the Bunsen burner over the Bunsen burner, and when it is left at the room temperature for several hours, it gets back to its original shape. So manipulation of inlay wax. Dry heat is preferred to use of the water bath, which ranges from 54 to 60 degrees Celsius. For type 1, that is for the hard wax, it is a direct technique. It is softened over a flame until it becomes shiny. It is kneaded, shaped, and pressed in the prepared cavity. Pressure is then applied by the finger or point biting on it. It is cooled gradually before taking out. For the fabric, it is all about the fabrication of type 1. For the fabricating indirect pattern for type 2, dye should be lubricated, preferably with a lubricant containing a wetting agent. Excess must be avoided. Melted wax is added in layers with a spatula or the waxing instrument. Excuse me. Or may be painted on with a brush. Wax is then carved to the proper contour. A silk or a fine cloth may be used for final polishing. So it is the wax heating unit with the temperature ranges from 30 to 110 degrees Celsius. So coming on to the impression waxes, the corrective impression and the bite registration wax. In corrective impression, these waxes are used as a wax veneer over an original impression to contact and register the detail of soft tissue in a functional state. The flow of these wax at 37 degrees Celsius is 100%. It is very important. Coming on to the bite registration wax, the bite registration wax is used to articulate accurately certain models of opposing quadrants. Bite registrations are frequently made from 28 gauge casting wax or base plate wax. It contains paraffin or kerosene. The flow of these wax at 37 degrees Celsius ranges from 22.5% to 22%. See, the flow of the corrective impression is 37 degrees Celsius is complete 100%. But the bite registration wax, the flow of these wax is at 37 degrees Celsius is ranging from 2.5% to 22%. Coming on to the casting wax, the pattern for metallic framework of RPT removable partial denture and other similar structure is fabricated from the casting wax. They are available in the form of sheets that ranges from 0.3 to 0.6 millimeter, ready-made shapes and in bulk, as you all know. Exact composition is not specified, but they include ingredients similar to inlay wax with various combination and proportions of that of inlay wax, like paraffin wax, sarrasin wax, beeswax, resin, and other wax being used. Casting wax sheets are used to establish minimum thickness in certain areas of partial denture framework, such as in the palatal and the lingual bar, and produce desired contour of lingual bar. Denturum by Germany, model casting or wax preforms, available in the green clasp and the red retention colors. So basically these are used in the premolar clasp, molar clasp, bony hard clasp, and the ring clasp. So red one, it is used in the ring clasp, lingual bars, ridge retention grids, coarse grids, and the fine grids. So connecting wax, these are dark green in color. These are the special wax which are a rapid build-up of connection between the base and the clasp and the retainers. It has the melting point of 74 degrees Celsius. Coming on to the pink wax, that is thermo wax, pink wax. It is high melting point blocking. These are basically used for blocking out of the undercuts, and the melting point is 96 degrees Celsius. So waxes have been popular and useful dental material. It is easily manipulated. It has a low in cost and several variety of purposes. Several variety of purposes. Nevertheless, use of the dental waxes is associated with the control of certain characteristics that affect their applicability, such as the effect of heating on low flow, thermal expansion, distortion. Way back in 1939, Hollenbeck et al. Published the result of their extensive work on properties of waxes. Therefore, they concluded that the wax are sufficiently stable material if handled properly. So this is all about your dental waxes. So I have some important MCQs related to the dental waxes. So as I've already told you, Dr. Taggart is associated with the lost wax technique. Second MCQ is gum dammer. It is the component of the inlay wax which makes the wax flake resistant. Third MCQ is the main ingredient of the inlay wax is paraffin wax. I told you it constitutes about 60% of the inlay wax. Next MCQ is inlay wax is used to make inlay wax pattern. I repeat, inlay wax is used to make inlay wax pattern. Montan wax, which is the question was, which of the following is derived from lignite? That is the Montan wax. I repeat, the Montan wax is derived from lignite. Coming on to the next MCQ, the boxing wax is also called as canding wax. The boxing wax is also called as carding wax. Next MCQ is wax are used for corrective impressions. Next, I repeat the MCQ, waxes are used for corrective impressions. Coming on to the next MCQ, the standard perforated tray for use with alginate impression material may be brought to more customized contour by, your answer is utility wax. Coming on to the next MCQ, indirect technique, that is type 1 or type V wax are used. In indirect technique, type 2 wax are used, as I've already told you this. Coming on to the next MCQ, it has been asked in your AIPG exam, inlay waxes should have a maximum flow of 1% at 37 degrees Celsius. I repeat, inlay waxes should have a maximum flow of 1% at 37 degrees Celsius. Coming on to the next MCQ. Waxes have a low thermal conductivity and high coefficient of thermal expansion. Waxes have low thermal conductivity and high coefficient of thermal expansion. Your last MCQ is glass transition temperature of inlay wax is 35 degrees Celsius. Glass transition temperature of inlay wax is 35 degrees Celsius. So thank you. This is all about dental wax. You can expect one question from this particular topic. Thank you.